welcome back to Open Your Eyes. We are joined by Mr. Jose Manuel Rodriguez from the Yucatan Foreign Trade and Investment Bureau, as well as Mr. Marcelino Miranda, who is the Consular Border Affairs and Press Officer for the Embassy of Mexico here in Belize. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Now, let's talk about ProMexico and exactly what is its objectives and how does it seek to establish relations with neighbors like Belize?
Sure. Well, ProMexico is a trust, which is part of the Ministry of Economy, and we are the institution responsible for the foreign trade and also for attracting investment to Mexico. So we have several branches around the country, and we are based in Merida, where is the office for the state itself, which I am responsible for that. And also we have the regional office, which covers all the states of Chiapas, Tabasco, Campeche, Quintana Roo, and Yucatan. So one of our main goals is to help Mexican companies to expand abroad through exportations, through establishing branches abroad, through making strategic alliances with companies. And also we help companies willing to establish in this region, in this particular case, to facilitate all the paperwork and anything they will need to have an office in the area. But we have several branches around, and of course our head offices are in Mexico City. That's the objective of ProMexico.
Now you talk about exportations from Mexico into foreign countries. Does that agreement also cover foreign countries exporting into Mexico as well? Does the agreement is it a two-way agreement or?
Yes, we also have a closed relationships with counterparts. In this case, like Beltrade, we have been receiving a delegation of Beltrade and entrepreneurs last year, and for us, we are trying. We are working in a memorandum of understanding in order to help also Belizean companies to make business in the area, because we understand that international trade is based on two ways. And last year, people from Beltrade went to our head offices in order to see how do we organize our activities, the type of programs that we have, and also to meet each other personally, which is also very important. So we help also companies to find the partners locally.
Okay.
Now, Marcelino, let's talk about how the council came to this point, or to this decision, to actually make sure that we have this on the ground in Belize, this ProMexico collaboration and exploration in terms of looking at business ventures.
Yeah, one of the main issues or the main subjects in the relationship is the trade, the trade between both countries, and something that part of this subject is the importance of the border. And in our conception, I'm talking about Mexico and Belize. What we are regarding, or we are looking at the border, is a source of opportunities. That's the reason the infrastructure at the border has been upgraded, especially with the new bridge. And this will allow both countries to improve the exchange, the trade, and also to facilitate obviously partnerships, and to expand the trade between both countries. And not only trade, it's also about, we are talking about services, and we are looking at the tourist industry. the border, the new bridge, is going to be a source of opportunities. So that's the reason the Embassy of Mexico, the federal government, ProMexico, it's looking at expanding this and modernizing the border, and also at the same time to facilitate the crossing of not only of cargo, not only of products, but also people. And we have made a big, I think that huge steps in that direction. For example, the visa requirement for Belizeans have been lifted, so Belizeans can, with their passport, they can go anywhere in Mexico. So that's something that has facilitated, and the number of crossings has increased. And in the overall, I think that, as I said, the border is being an opportunity, and it will be a great opportunity for both countries in terms of trade, tourism, and other kind of exchange.
Now, is the engagement, as Mr. Rodriguez, or as Jose said just a moment ago, is it primarily Bell Trade and ProMexico, or is the engagement with private sector and other individuals? Who's the target group that you have at this point in terms of the partners that you are meeting with?
Well, we are mainly focused on the private sector. This year we have a group of 14 companies coming to Belize, which are holding appointments. We started, all the group, we met in Chetumal, and as Marcelino just mentioned, we visited the new facility of Subteniente Lopez, which is a very modern facility. We visited, they show us how fast can be the trade now. They explain us that in 10 minutes, now with the new systems, with all the security that they have now, the gamma rays and the X rays, they can look easily the merchandise, so they don't have to stop it and to check every truck. So yesterday we were in Belmopan, and we have a program the whole morning, which we find people that are willing to develop this relationship, commercial relationship. Later on, we had a meeting with the ministry, the General Direction for Trade, which explained us what they have been doing and how they are progressing in this agreement that we want to sign in the short term to increase our trade. Because our trade, even though that in the last 10 years has doubled from, let's say, 60 million US, both sides, to 130, we see a huge potential in it. I mean, you have products that Mexican can buy easily, not only the products that you have now, so orange juice concentrate, or even the new product that you are exporting that is beef meat, or shrimp, but other products that you may introduce to the whole country. Now you are providing products to the Riviera Maya, to Cancun, to the tourism sector, but the Mexican market is huge in terms of consumption. So we are ready to receive more Belizean products, and that's part of that mission also. And today we are going to help meetings here in Belize City, and there is a quite good expectation. We work with Chamber of Commerce from Belize City, from Mopan authorities, and of course this program cannot be developed ourselves without the support of the Mexican Embassy, since we do not have a branch here in Belize yet. We have 32 branches of offices abroad as ProMexico, but where we do not have an office, we are in close contact with the Mexican Embassy, which they know also the local companies and the people that they know are interested in develop the relation.
What has been the general attitude of the businesses on the Belize side, because I know for a long time we've been talking about partial scope agreements and that nature, and the bureaucracy of it has been one of the main deterrents to people jumping on board fully. We saw with trading of beef, for example, that it was a lengthy process. Are we looking at ways to make sure that the bureaucracy itself is cut down? And what has been the general attitude of Belizean commercial experts to actually export and embrace opportunities in Mexico?
I don't know if you want to mention the process in the beef that we...
Yes, actually, I think that the story of the cattle is a successful story, in terms that rather than it was a long process, but I think it was worth it, especially for Belize, because now you are fulfilling the requirements that are not the requirements only for the Mexican market, it's the requirements for the international market. So instead, I don't see really a kind of a bureaucratic red tape that you have to, on the contrary, is in a way investing in fulfilling these requirements that are allowed now Belizean cattle to be exported to Mexico and to other international markets. So in that regards, I think the attitude of Belizean investors or Belizean business people has been very positive, in terms that looking at the opportunities that they have in this huge market on the in Quintana Roo, in the Riviera Maya. We are talking about a market that has hundreds of thousands of visitors, tourists in that area. And as you mentioned, this is a great opportunity for Belizeans to export their products. And in terms of tourism, it's also a great opportunity. We have had some delegations from tourist industry from Merida who have come to Belize, and they have established some partnerships. They have established communication with local tourist operators. And another successful story is about, for example, Tropic Air, that now has a direct flight to Cancun. All these, we are looking at a very positive attitude on both sides of the border, and I'm talking about the private sector, has a really positive attitude, and especially they are very optimistic about this opportunity in terms of trade and investment.
And also I would like to add that just last year we received a group of cattle producers, which we met with the Mexican counterparts in the region, and they say we are willing to work with you, but we really need that you cover all this sanity process. It's not a bureaucracy itself. Since Mexico has a broad branch of international agreements, we have to maintain the standards that are already settled down. So there are certain certifications that has to be accomplished, such as the HACCP, which is hazard risk in the process product, and this is particularly dealing with food and beverage, because our health products, products that are linked to health. So that may seem like it's a very long process, but both authorities have to cover all the points with the responsible they have in other agreements.
Now, you're talking about increasing trade on both sides. Are there specific products that you're looking to increase or to introduce into the market, both from Mexico and from Belize? Are there specific products you're looking at, or is it just something general, trade in general of all products?
Well, in the case of export products from Belize to Mexico, I think that you have mainly processed product and agricultural products, because you are a very rich country. So we import sugar, we import already corn, we import already rice and orange juice process. So I think that once that you generate a wider industrial base, you will find opportunities in the market. From the Mexican side, we see that Belize is growing in certain sectors, like the tourism sector. So the construction sector can provide materials, and as well as other food processing products that you have not yet developed, and also some services, services linked to technologies, to telecoms, and infrastructure projects that we can develop together. Some of the companies are coming here are for chemical raw materials for the industry, for cleaning products. Other are from, just as I mentioned, for infrastructure, for the network electricity that you are trying to change to the new cement poles.
Yeah.
We have some others that are like for wheat flour. Some other are for liquor company for the tourism sector, specialty liquor made like agave spirits or some for cocktail mixed. So what we see is that there is a potential growth that we can accelerate with certain agreement together from the government side.
Now, in terms of the relationship as it now stands, how do you see it moving forward? Is this trade mission something that is going to become more of a regular occurrence on both sides of the border?
Yes, in fact, this is the third time we are here. Every year, around May or June, we organize this trade mission. We lead it in the southeast of Mexico, but we bring companies from other states. Like we have a company coming from the Distrito Federal, from the capital of Mexico, another coming from Tlaxcala, another coming from the Estado de Mexico. So every time we see that there are more interest of companies visiting Belize to see these opportunities. I would like to add that they are more also interested in having alliances, because that's the best way to work. I mean, we do not know your market as you do. So we want to invest in small facilities at the beginning to see how the market react and grow, because as we were discussing yesterday, Belize can be a very interesting logistic platform. You have contacts in all the CARICOM because you are part of it, but also you are a neighbor of Honduras, of Guatemala, very, very close to Honduras, and you have agreements with Costa Rica already, even with Cuba, Venezuela, and for us it's very difficult to contact or to make the link, the transport link from Progreso, for instance, to República Dominicana or Jamaica. And here you have also direct access. So we saw also Belize as a platform to distribute products in the CARICOM and in Central America.
Now, as you said that, one of the questions that I wanted to ask was, how do you sell this idea of coming to Belize on a trade mission?
To the Mexican counterpart? Well, we show the results, first of all, because this is the third time. The last two missions, they already, well, let's say that some of the companies already closed deals. So they start talking about it through the chambers or through their colleagues. And with the information we provide, through the emails, through the information we are giving about the market of Belize, people become more interested every year. Last year they were 10 companies, this year are 14. The first year was only 8. So we also spread the information about the results and the opportunities that can have for Mexican companies.
And how long will the trade mission itself last?
Actually, they arrived yesterday, and yesterday they held a meeting in Belmopan. Today, it's going to continue in Belize City at the Institute of Mexico. And so there's still time for those who are interested in contact this mission. They can come to the Institute of Mexico. We are going to have these meetings during the day. I think this is a wonderful opportunity. Especially, I know that there are lots of people who have contacted the embassy in terms of they want to join this, and I think they can still do it today.
And as I just mentioned, if somebody also wants to introduce products to Mexico, there are companies that have the network for distribution and not only want to sell, but also want, if they see some interesting product from Belize, also they can discuss how to introduce to Mexico or make an exchange of products to distribute in both countries.
All right. Well, gentlemen, we want to thank you for joining us this morning and wish you best on this trade mission.
Thank you.
And that it proves to be fruitful on both sides of the border.
Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you.
We're going to go ahead and take a break, and when we come back, it'll be for Grace and you. Join Amanda as she embarks on her New Year's resolution to become a better cook.
Documentaries on the two extreme sporting